No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for November 8th, 2024. Survivor Series coming up in just about 3 weeks' time. This was a very eventful Smackdown. Survivor Series is now taking shape. Let's talk about it. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I very much appreciate your viewership and support. Now, let's talk about SmackDown. We kicked off with some footage being shown from Crown Jewel. Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso came down to the ring seemingly to discuss their loss at the Crown Jewel event. But before they could say anything, we had Jey Uso arrive. Jey Uso was not yeeting. He was very serious. He introduced Sami Zayn. Zayn came to the ring. There were the Sami Uso chants. Zayn explained that when he kicked Roman in the face at Crown Jewel, it was not done on purpose. But he made it clear the only reason he showed up was to help Jey Uso. But he did admit it was a special time when the four of them were together at Crown Jewel. It reminded him of the old days. He still has a soft spot for the Bloodline. He believes that on some level, Roman Reigns wants it back. And he actually thinks that Roman loves him. And they could run it all back. He said the ball is in Roman Reigns' court. If Roman Reigns wants them together, Sami Zayn said he'll do it. But he wanted one thing. He wanted an apology. And not an apology for him. He wanted an apology for Jey. Roman went over to Jey, said he was sorry. He was sorry that he would even let Sami Zayn waste their time. Reigns said it's not about Sami Zayn, it's about Solo Sikoa. Reigns called out Solo, Sami Zayn walked off, and at least at this point in time, there was no OG Bloodline reunion. Roman Reigns would not apologize to Jey, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Stay tuned. Now, Jacob Fatu did show up on the screen, and he said that Solo Sikoa will come out to the ring when he damn well pleases. Then backstage, Roman Reigns met with Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. There was more tension between them. Jey ended up walking off looking for Sami. Jimmy ended up walking off looking for Jey. And Roman Reigns was all alone by himself. Strong segment to open up the show, setting up the reunion but not pulling the trigger on it. More on that because the main event segment of the show was the Solo Sikoa acknowledgement ceremony. We'll talk about that here in just a few moments. We had our first match of the evening, which was Bayley versus Candice LeRae. Candice all by herself, no more Indy Hartwell. She has been released. Candice did dominate the match early. It was a standard women's match. Then Candice came off the top with a missile drop kick, and Bayley was fired up. She built up momentum, and then she went up top for the flying elbow, but Candice rolled out of the ring. Bayley chased after her. Then Candice got back in the ring and acted like she hurt her knee. She tried to take advantage of this. She was feigning the injury. She rolled up Bayley, but Bayley knew Candice well, was able to counter and pick up the 1-2-3 victory. So smart babyface Bayley picks up the win. She did not get tricked by Candice LeRae. Good for Bayley. Match was fine. It was what it was. I mean, the announcers even brought up how this match was all about Bayley getting herself back on track after having a couple of rough months since losing the women's championship. Candice is still involved in the storylines. More on that momentarily. Now, backstage, Johnny Gargano put over the Motor City Machine Guns, wished them luck in their match against A-Town Down Under. Then Tommaso Ciampa came in. He was not happy with Gargano being so nice to the Motor City Machine Guns. Ciampa said the Machine Guns took their spot. He said they're going to make an example out of Pretty Deadly and take their titles back. More on that momentarily. Randy Orton then showed up. He stormed to the ring. He got on the mic. Sounded like maybe he had a sore throat. He said he's going to end this shit right now. It got bleeped out, but he said shit. He called out Kevin Owens. Owens then appeared on the stage. Officials were trying to hold him back, but then he ran into the ring. He was wearing this Kevin is Right t-shirt, by the way. And there were officials coming in. They brawled. And during all the chaos, Kevin Owens gave Orton a low blow and then hit him with an old school pile driver. And the announcers freaked out. Michael Cole brought up how the pile driver has been banned in WWE for years, which it was for a while. I can't even remember the last pile driver on WWE television. I know The Undertaker had the tombstone, but I think it got banned like well over a decade ago and might have been occasionally used in WWE, but not too often. Anyways, Orton sold it like he was seriously hurt, and you had a stretcher brought to ringside. Orton was taken out, loaded up into an ambulance, and they drove away. Cody Rhodes was there too. Cody Rhodes, his only appearance on the show. He checked in on Orton and was there in the ambulance when they drove off. I thought it was a very effective angle. Now, of course, if you watch AEW, guys kick out of the pile driver like it's nothing. Orange Cassidy can take a pile driver on steel steps, and he's right back up in just a few minutes. What a weakling that Randy Orton is. Can't even take one pile driver. Orange Cassidy can be drilled on the steps, and he's back up fighting. What kind of a wuss is Randy Orton? He can't even handle one pile driver. But seriously, though, I thought it was a great angle, and sometimes less is more. You know, if you don't do a move all that often, when you do bring it back and do an angle like this, the move actually means something. When you do 100 pile drivers and everybody's popping right back up, doesn't really mean anything anymore. When you do 1 million Canadian destroyers, people just pop right back up and it means nothing. I really liked the angle. WWE is relying on the audience buying into it and not watching AEW constantly and being like, oh, well, everybody in AEW, all these guys just pop right back up from it. You know, WWE is hoping that the WWE audience will take the angle seriously. And I think they will. I mean, it was very well done. Randy Orton taken out, Kevin Owens with the new heel character. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well executed. Now we had DIY versus Pretty Deadly, which was an interesting match because Johnny Gargano never tagged in. Tommaso Ciampa just went after both members of Pretty Deadly and basically destroyed them. He pinned Prince pretty quickly with the fairy tale ending, beat up both guys. Gargano never tagged in. He was very aggressive. Good for DIY. Pretty Deadly. I mean, they were totally squashed in this match. These guys might not want to answer their phone in the near future unless Triple H just wants to use them as enhancement talent. I mean, this was a total squash. Basically a handicap match. Gargano did nothing. And they're teasing that the Ciampa's going back to the old black heart Ciampa that we saw in NXT. That vicious side of him is coming back out. I mean, it's good for Ciampa. I'm definitely enjoying this heel turn direction. But yeah, I feel bad for Pretty Deadly, even though they have their ceiling. You know, they're basically a comedy act. Going to be hard to take them seriously nonetheless. But yeah, they lost pretty quickly here in a very one-sided match. Now backstage, more Candice LeRae. She's still involved in the storyline here with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany was talking down to Candice, saying Candice will need to do more to earn respect. And then Candice responded by saying if she was at Crown Jewel, Nia Jax would have won the match. We'll see where this goes. If Candice joins the group, what's going to happen here? Like I said last week, I don't see anything happening to Candice. She's married to Johnny Gargano. I think she's got some job security. And I think she's a great talent too. Like she deserves to be utilized more than she has been. So hopefully she'll continue to be involved in this and she'll be okay without Indy Hartwell. All right, moving on here. We got the tag team match, the champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Solid match here. Tiffany slapped Jade, which was a big mistake. That just fired up Jade. She took down Tiffany with a fallaway slam. And then Nia tagged in. Tiffany provided a distraction, and that allowed Nia to gain the advantage with a Samoan drop to Jade. Then after the break, Bianca Belair made the hot tag, went after Tiffany, and then Jade and Nia went at it, changing shots, trading shots back and forth, taking each other down. Then Candice LeRae showed up and interfered. Naomi ran down, went after Candice. Then Tiffany, distracted by all this, ended up being the victim of the KOD, the kiss of death. Bianca Belair picks up the 1, 2, 3. Tiffany takes another L. Maybe that means we're getting closer to the cash-in. Historically, when the Money in the Bank holder loses a lot, they end up winning the title shortly thereafter. So we'll see what happens with that. We had another tag team match, which would make Teddy Long happy, another tag team match on this show. We had the Motor City Machine Guns, the tag team champions, men's tag team champions, versus A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Motor City Machine Guns had the early upper hand, very fast-paced offense, but then Shelley was selling his knee. A-Town Down Under took advantage. They worked together, but then Sabin got the hot tag after the break. They double-teamed Theory. Then Waller came in with the flatliner to Sabin, but Sabin kicked out. And then Waller missed the flying elbow. Motor City Machine Guns double-teamed Waller with the neck breaker and splash, top rope splash combo. Picked up the 1, 2, 3 victory. Nice win here for the Motor City Machine Guns. And then backstage, DIY approached the Guns and we're talking about possibly getting their match, but then the Street Profits and B-Fab showed up, and B-Fab said they already talked to Nick Aldis. Street Profits will get the next crack at the tag team titles next week on SmackDown, and as you can imagine, Tommaso Ciampa was pissed off, and he just walked away, piss and vinegar. Then we had General Manager Nick Aldis making an announcement. This is an interesting one. Chat room, let me know your thoughts, good or bad, on this one. We got another title. It's been rumored for a while now. The women are finally getting a mid-card championship. There will be a women's United States championship. But here's what's strange to me. It's going to be open to both Raw and SmackDown talent. So does that mean there's just one women's mid-card title? When you have a women's intercontinental title for Raw, it's kind of odd that you have a United States title for the men that's only on SmackDown, but a United States title that's for the women on both shows. That's strange to me. I'm not really the biggest fan of adding another championship. The women's tag team titles are barely relevant. It's a nice idea, but there's just so many titles already. And if WWE did a great job booking all their champions, I'd say, okay, yeah, add one more. And hey, SmackDown is possibly going to 3 hours in January, and Raw will more than likely be close to 3 hours, if not 3 hours on Netflix. So you got 6 hours of programming in 2025. I can understand from that perspective, okay, let's add one more title here for the extra TV time. I just have mixed feelings on it. And I'm not sure if they should really do one mid-card title. Like, if they're going to do one women's mid-card title, how about having just one men's mid-card title that's defended on both shows? Maybe add a title, subtract the title. Have the Intercontinental title be for the men, have the United States title be for the women. I don't know. I just feel like there's too many titles, and they gotta maybe merge a couple of them if they're gonna go this route. And who knows, they may still end up doing a Intercontinental women's title. Who knows? Lots of mixed feelings on it. It could be a positive, but at the same time, I worry that the titles, like the women's tag titles, are already not meaning much to begin with. So why add more at this point? We had our final segment of the evening, the Tribal Chief Acknowledgement Ceremony. Roman Reigns came down, and Solo Sikoa demanded that Roman Reigns acknowledge him. Reigns asked if the fans acknowledged Solo. They chanted, "F you, Solo." And Reigns said he will never acknowledge Solo. And in fact, he was there to challenge Solo to a match where the winner is the one and only Tribal Chief. Now, Solo responded by saying that Reigns doesn't even have a tribe. Solo said he's the undisputed Tribal Chief, and he had a better idea. He challenged Roman Reigns to find any 4 people in the back that can go to war. Reigns presumed that this was War Games, but then said he only sees 4 guys in the ring. And Solo revealed that the 5th member of his team is his dog, Sami Zayn. Zayn then showed up on the stage. The new Bloodline jumped Roman Reigns, and then Solo got on the mic and said Sami Zayn attacked Roman on purpose at Crown Jewel. The Usos ran down. They fought with the Bloodline, but they got overwhelmed. And then Solo told Zayn to get in the ring, told Zayn to kick Reigns in the face with the Helluva kick. Sami Zayn charged, but he ended up hitting Roman Reigns, he ended up hitting Solo Sikoa instead of Roman Reigns. Crowd popped big for this. Sami Zayn made his decision. He is aligned with the new Bloodline, or the old Bloodline. I'm screwing up here. Sami Zayn kicked Solo and aligned with the old Bloodline. Usos got into the ring. The original Bloodline all in the ring together. And one by one, they each held up the ones. Jimmy did it. Jay did it. Sami Zayn did it. And then finally, Roman Reigns did it. And the show closed with the original Bloodline standing tall. War Games officially confirmed for Survivor Series. Now, a couple of things. First of all, is it 4-on-4 or 5-on-5? That's where people are confused. I think Solo said that to do the whole angle with Sami Zayn, like Sami Zayn was part of their team as the fifth guy. I could still see this being 4-on-4. I know people are throwing out names like other guys they can bring in to make it 5-on-5. I could see this just being 4-on-4. I mean, we do have a couple weeks left, and the other thing I wanted to mention here is it did feel a little rushed. Like I thought they could have saved this segment for next week, the Bloodline tribal ceremony, the acknowledgement ceremony. I feel like they could have saved it for next week and stretched this out one more week. So the fact that they did the angle here, does that mean over the next couple weeks there may be a few more twists and turns and we get more people into the mix? I mean, that could be where this is going, and there's a reason that they did the angle here because there's more to this coming. Regardless, very strong angle to close out the show, although Roman Reigns never did apologize to Jay. I don't think The Rock is the fifth guy. I would be very surprised if The Rock shows up anytime for the remainder of 2024, even Survivor Series. All in all, it was a great show. The Bloodline angle was very entertaining, and War Games is going to be a hot show. I mean, this could be the best War Games match in WWE history. Definitely has a lot of heat behind it. It's going to be a really fun one to watch. We had some good matches on the show. The building on Motor City Machine Guns. Good angle with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I really liked the show. I would probably go an A- for SmackDown. It was a great show. Looking forward to Survivor Series. They did a very well job with the angle. Very good job with the angle. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not much else to say on the show, but thank you all for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate your viewership and support. We'll see what happens with the War Games match. I don't know what's going on with the Women's War Games match. Not even sure if that's going to happen or not. I don't really think they should do one. I really believe that they should maybe do a traditional women's elimination match. We don't need 2 War Games matches, just like we don't need 2 chamber matches, but they'll probably do 2. They're doing the 2 Royal Rumble matches. At some point, I'd like to see the Royal Rumble as a 2-night event just to spread out the Rumble matches. We'll talk more about this in the coming weeks. We'll see what happens. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Tell a friend about the NoDQ.com YouTube channel. Have a great weekend, everyone. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.